What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. I got a comment earlier today about the decision of Greg Abbott sending a busload of migrants to Washington, D.C. And this is what's happening. They arrived today, Wednesday, April 13th. He sent migrants from the southern border, Texas, to Washington, D.C. And it actually did happen. He announced this last week. A bus with dozens of migrants from Colombia, Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela pulled up at approximately 8 a.m. local time, blocks away from the Capitol building, Fox News reported. The media outlet added that the migrants checked in with officials and had wristbands when they were cutting off. Then they were informed they could go. Breitbart reported that Customs and Border Protection agents were being instructed to tell illegal migrants not to board buses bound for D.C., a West Texas mayor said. So this is what's going on here. Abbott's decision to bus migrants to other cities came in response to Biden administration saying it planned to end Title 42 deportations on May 23rd. This move will cause huge issues. If you think the issues are bad now, it's going to cause what governors calling unprecedented in U.S. history. We just had an unprecedented year. This is one of several unilateral actions the state is taking to curb illegal immigration along the border. Commercial traffic at the southern border had snarled after state troopers stepped up safety inspections of trucks. Midas Touch, which is a establishment outlet, they tweeted this. At Greg Abbott bussed migrants to Washington, D.C. and just so happened to drop them off in front of the Fox News studio as Fox cameras stood by for their exclusive report. So dehumanizing and cruel. Yeah, it sounds so mean and awful. But when you look into the details more, like I just read, that this is a voluntary trip. This is straight from the information here. The migrants only have to get on the charter buses to D.C. on a voluntary basis. No one's getting forced to be on the bus. To board a bus or flight, a migrant must volunteer to be transported and show documentation from DHS. So I tweeted from that, I think this is first-class treatment. Where's the dehumanizing process? Now, it sounds like they're legal immigrants, but I'm not 100% sure. But either way, it's voluntary. Nobody's making anybody get on the bus. So I kind of hemmed and hawed earlier when I got the comment in the chat. I don't know if I'm for it, if I'm not. And I don't like hemming and hawing. I just need time sometimes to come up with a statement. But I'm not one to be, even though I'm stuck in the middle, I'm not going to be hemming and hawing I like it, I don't like it. At the end of the day, I will back. I'm not a huge fan of Greg Abbott. And it could be biased because I'm a huge fan. I don't even know what to call it, but I like the philosophies of Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, and he lost the primary to Greg Abbott. I would like to see Allen West as governor, but if he wants to go back to the House of Representatives, I'd be happy with that too. We need representation like him in D.C. right now. I don't care where it is. Staffer. He's not going to be a staffer, but my point is anywhere. Wouldn't it be funny if Lieutenant Colonel Allen West was some staffer for somebody? Those staffers stay in D.C. there's no term limit on staffers. So they're actually very powerful. Allen West responded, reports are that the first bus arrived in D.C. And he used the word insidious. Lieutenant Colonel Allen West is not one to play around. Can someone articulate to me, this is in his words, the difference between that and the Biden administration's use of taxpayer funds to fly and bus illegals all over the country? It appears that Biden and Abbott are both using taxpayer resources to aid and abet human trafficking. What's the difference? I still say I side with Governor Abbott, and the reason why I say that is strictly from a marketing standpoint. I agree with Allen West's determination here, but Greg Abbott was successful in getting this topic back in the news with Ukraine and Russia and all this kind of stuff. It's marketing. I am more for substance. I'm not a big marketing guy, but you have to have marketing. You could have the best substance in the world, but if nobody knows about it and nobody sees it, then it doesn't mean anything. And this was a marketing move. It got him on Fox News. It got him interviews. It got Alan West. It got me talking about it. It got me doing videos about it. And other people talking about it. And Midas talking about it. So it worked. In the age of algorithms, it's either an A or an F. On substance, this move by Greg Abbott is an F. But does it trend in the algorithm? That matters. So I do support it. And I also support it because there is some substance to it. And I'll get to that in a second. I want to finish off Alan West's statement. The real winners here are the transnational narco-criminal terrorist organizations called the cartels. Funny, Texas put wristbands on these illegals just like the cartels. So I'm confused. They got DHS papers? Are they legal or not? I'm not sure about that. Sounds like he's saying they're illegal. Imagine Midas Touch. Say they are illegal. And I apologize. Help me out if you know. I'm got to look into that more. But help me. Let's say they are illegal that are being bussed from Texas to D.C. Isn't that a hell of a generous country to bus people who came here illegally across the border, broke the law, and voluntarily asked them, do you want to go to D.C.? And we're supposed to look at that as if it's the big bad white supremacist, or I don't know what, they didn't use that word, but what am I supposed to look at that as? Like dehumanizing? Are you serious? Have you tried something like that in China? Like what other country allows stuff like that? And not only that, it's the state government that's doing it. The federal government fully supports the border being basically not having a border, just immigrants flooding on over. There's no other country that does it like this. So he said that they're now freely released into the country, and that's foolishly called being tough. Bars, keep going, Colonel. Maybe in combat, we should just truck captured POWs back to the enemy. Oops. That's what we did with Islamic jihadists and Taliban leadership. Lots of stupid to go around. That's why I like Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. I think it would be a way better governor than Greg Abbott by orders of magnitude, but didn't get it done. This is the substance. I will end with this. I will give Greg Abbott credit. Laredo Bridge 4 backed up into Mexico to the horizon from Greg Abbott's Texas DPS Enhanced Safety Inspections Operations announced this week. So if you can see this picture here, Greg Abbott announced, hey, you know what we're going to start doing? Enhanced security inspections. What does that mean in reality? It means all this stuff coming across the border from Mexico to the U.S. I think it's coming from Mexico to the U.S. is the only place they're doing that, is going to take a long time. You know what might help that out? Is if you fix this damn border problem, Mexico and U.S. So Jen Psaki released a statement here, and I'll go over that in response to this is the substance. This is what's really the busing to D.C. They don't care about that. That's what 30 people bust. They don't care about that. They're flying people like Alan West said across the country. So what? This is what they were like. This is what they want to go after. Greg Abbott's unnecessary. This is from Jen Psaki. Again, Governor Abbott's unnecessary and redundant inspections of trucks transitioning ports of entry between Texas and Mexico are causing significant disruptions to the food and automobile supply chains. Now they care about the supply chains all of a sudden. Delaying manufacturing, impacting jobs, and raising prices for families in Texas and across the border. Local businesses and trade associations are calling on Governor Abbott to reverse this decision because trucks are facing lengthy delays exceeding 5 hours at some border crossings, and commercial traffic has dropped by as much as 60%. Okay. The continuous flow of legitimate trade and travel and CBP's ability to do its job should not be obstructed. Governor Abbott's actions are impacting people's jobs and the livelihood of hardworking American families. You can't do a damn thing about it. There's powers that the states have. There's powers that the federal government have. So he's blackmailing. And go ahead, fix the border, and then maybe we won't need these emergency elongated inspections. And you might ask, well, I don't support the sacrifices for Ukraine and Russia that was going to cause higher prices, yet I do support this. Well, number one, this is in direct response to something that is already going on and hurting American people and only escalating the immigration crisis. So that's already happening, hurting Americans. Russia and Ukraine don't have anything to do with us. Nothing at all. A little bit indirectly. But that's not something to sacrifice anything for. We've got to stop the illegal immigration now. So there is some cost here. We don't know how long it's going to go. And the cost here is not nearly the price that we're paying in Russia, Ukraine. So summing it all up, what do you think about the busing? Are you for it or not? No hemming or hawing. I said I'm for it as a marketing ploy. Are you for the extra inspections that are going on across the Laredo Bridge and maybe elsewhere to put pressure on Mexico and U.S. to figure it out? Let me know what you think. Take care.